bureaucratic nightmare. That was the United Galactic Administration building. Teak Marblon sipped his 7th cup of something that wasn't quite coffee but filled the same desperate need. His 4 tendrils tapped impatiently on his desk as he scrolled through the seemingly endless new planetary admission forms. Another Tuesday, another terrifying backlog, he muttered to his terminal. As senior processing agent for the Milky Way sector, Teak had seen it all: planets made of cheese. Planets where the dominant species communicated exclusively through interpretive dance, and once, a gas giant that somehow achieved sentience and filed its own application. But nothing had prepared him for Earth. System 395712, solar, planet designation Earth, blah blah blah, atmosphere nitrogen oxygen, blah blah, dominant species humans, primarily carbon-based. Wait, what's this? Teak blinked all 6 of his eyes simultaneously, a sign of extreme surprise among the Volusian people. He adjusted his spectacles, certain he had misread the figures. Computer, verify kill count statistics for planet Earth. The computer chirped pleasantly. Kill count verified at approximately 5 quadrillion entities. Current population, 9.7 billion sentient beings. Teak's mouth flaps went slack. That can't possibly be right. How could any planet have a kill count that exceeds its population by such a ridiculous margin? Computer, detail kill count categories. A holographic chart appeared, breaking down Earth's genocidal achievements. Microorganisms 4.8 quadrillion. Insects 962 trillion. Plants 89 trillion. Animals 27 trillion. Members of their own species, a surprisingly modest 98 billion. By the Great Void, Teak whispered. They're monsters. His office door slid open with a pneumatic hiss, revealing his supervisor, Director Plex, whose gelatinous form quivered with what might have been excitement. Marblon, I see you've discovered our newest, interesting case. Interesting. Director, these statistics suggest that every human has personally destroyed approximately 515,463,917 other living beings. That's not interesting. That's terrifying. Director Plex's body rippled in what passed for a shrug. Well, we can't judge based on numbers alone. Perhaps there's a reasonable explanation. Like what? They accidentally fell on the extinction button 5 quadrillion times? That's why we've scheduled their diplomatic delegation for arrival. Oh, approximately now. A loud ping from Teak's terminal announced the arrival of Earth's first official representatives to Galactic headquarters. Congratulations, Marblon oozed Director Plex as he slithered toward the door. You've been assigned as their processing agent. Try not to get eliminated. As Plex departed, Teak stared at the pulsing notification on his screen. He quickly pulled up the security feed showing the arrival dock, where 2 humans were now disembarking from their transport vessel. Computer, update the cosmic scoreboard. And possibly my will. Captain Jack Ryder straightened his uniform for the 14th time as he and Dr. Eliza Wright prepared to enter the main reception hall of United Galactic Administration headquarters. Stop fidgeting, Jack, Dr. Wright whispered, adjusting her own immaculately pressed diplomatic suit. You're representing all of humanity. Act like it. I know, Ryder replied, running a hand through his regulation-cut brown hair. But have you seen some of these aliens? There's one by the water cooler that looks like a sentient chandelier. That's Ambassador Lux from the Crystalline Confederation, and she can probably hear you. The chandelier turned what appeared to be its top crystal toward them and flickered ominously. Sorry, Ryder called out with an awkward wave. Turning back to Wright, he muttered. This is why they should have sent someone with diplomatic training instead of a starship captain. They sent you because you made first contact, Wright reminded him. Besides, I'm the diplomat. You're just here to look pretty and not start an interstellar war. No pressure then. As they entered the grand reception hall, both humans felt the distinctive sensation of being the center of unwanted attention. Alien representatives from across the galaxy turned to stare, their various sensory appendages fixed on the newcomers with expressions that ranged from curiosity to what appeared to be abject horror. "Why are they looking at us like that?" Ryder whispered. "Do I have something on my face?" "Maybe they're just fascinated by new species," Wright suggested, though her tone lacked conviction. A small green alien with disproportionately large eyes sidled up to them, gave a quick bow, and then scurried away whispering something that sounded suspiciously like killers. Before either human could process this interaction, a blue-skinned official with 6 eyes and 4 waving tentacles approached them, clutching what looked like a tablet device as if it were a shield. "Greetings, Earth representatives. I am processing Agent Teak Marblon. Welcome to the United Galactic Administration headquarters. I will be handling your planetary admission process." His voice was pleasant enough, but his tendrils were trembling slightly. "Thank you for the warm welcome," Wright responded with her most diplomatic smile. "I'm Dr. Eliza Wright, Earth's diplomatic envoy, and this is Captain Jack Ryder of the Space Exploration Corps." Ryder extended his hand for a shake. Teak stared at the outstretched appendage with all 6 eyes widening in alarm. "Is that a combat stance?" Teak asked, taking a step backward. "What? No, it's a handshake. It's how humans greet each other," Ryder explained, slowly lowering his hand. Yes, your customary physical contact ritual," Teak mumbled, making a note on his tablet. "How quaint." Wright shot Ryder a look that clearly said, "Let me handle this," before turning back to Teak with another practiced smile. "We're very excited about Earth joining the galactic community. We have so much to learn from other civilizations. And we have so much to survive from yours," Teak muttered. "I'm sorry, what was that?" Wright asked. Nothing at all. Please, follow me to the orientation chamber. The council is eager to assess you." As they followed Teak through the grand hall, Ryder noticed a large holographic display that appeared to be some sort of ranking system. Earth was flashing at the top of the chart under a heading he couldn't read. "What's that scoreboard thing?" he asked, pointing. Teak's skin color shifted to a paler blue. "Oh, that's just administrative data. Nothing for you to worry about." "But why is Earth at the top?" "You're very exceptional," Teak replied evasively. "Now, this way to your processing interview. Please try not to touch anything, or anyone, or breathe too aggressively." As they continued walking, Wright leaned close to Ryder and whispered, "Is it just me, or are they all acting like we might explode at any moment?" "Maybe they've seen our reality TV shows," Ryder suggested. Neither human noticed the small cleaning drone that scuttled away from their path, nor the way Teak flinched when Ryder casually swatted at a floating speck of dust. "Kill count, +1, Teak muttered under his breath as he updated his tablet. Vex Quimble was the best auditor in the United Galactic Administration's Planetary Assessment Division. With skin like polished obsidian and eyes that literally calculated probabilities as you spoke, Vex had a reputation for being thorough, precise, and utterly unflappable. Today, however, as he reviewed the preliminary data on Earth, he was decidedly flapped. "This is either a catastrophic clerical error, or we've just admitted the most efficient killing machines in galactic history," he announced to his newly assigned human liaison. Officer Doug Peterson of Earth's newly formed Interstellar Relations Bureau scratched his head. "I'm not following you, Mr. Quimble. Please, just Vex is fine. And what I'm saying is that according to these figures, Your species has terminated more living entities than the combined death counts of every other civilized planet in the Milky Way, by several orders of magnitude. Doug shrugged. We've had some wars, sure, but nothing compared to what you see in our movies. Yes, we've factored in your fictional destruction as well. Vex tapped his tablet. Interesting cultural tendency, by the way, constantly imagining your own extinction. Most species consider that bad luck. Wait, you're counting our movies too? That's not fair. The fictional destruction metric is a separate category. Even without it, your actual kill count is. Vex paused, his calculating eyes spinning rapidly, disturbing. They were sitting in a sterile white room that the UGA used for audits, surrounded by holographic displays of Earth's history. Vex zoomed in on one, showing a human swatting a mosquito. See, casual killing. Doug rolled his eyes. That's pest control, not murder. Mosquitoes spread disease. So you admit to genocide against disease-carrying species? That's not genocide, that's public health. Doug protested. Vex made another note. Euphemism, public health equals systematic eradication. But look, can we focus on the actual admission process? Earth is really excited about joining the galactic community. We've prepared trade proposals, cultural exchange programs. Yes, I'm sure you're very eager to spread your influence, Vex interrupted, pulling up a new holographic display. Let's talk about your food chain. The display showed humans farming, fishing, and consuming various animal products. Do you know that most civilized planets evolved beyond consuming other life forms approximately 2,000 years after developing faster than light travel? Vex asked. Doug stared at him. You don't eat meat. We don't eat anything that was ever alive, Vex corrected with a shudder. We synthesize nutrients from base elements. Sounds delicious, Doug muttered. Now, let's discuss these particularly troubling statistics, Vex continued, pulling up a new display showing microscopic organisms. Your antibacterial products. Do you realize you've committed microbiological genocide on a scale that's literally incomprehensible to most galactic citizens? Doug laughed nervously. They're germs. They cause infections. More public health. Vex's eyes spun skeptically. Exactly. And these pest control measures? Vex displayed images of insecticide being sprayed. Also necessary. And the animal testing for your cosmetic products? Doug winced. Okay, that one's harder to defend. Vex's obsidian skin seemed to darken further. Officer Peterson, do you realize that on most planets, deliberately terminating any living organism, even one you can't see without magnification, is considered a serious moral breach? Some civilizations have developed entire philosophical systems around avoiding stepping on microscopic life forms. It seems impractical. They hover. Doug sighed. Look, I get that we might seem a bit cavalier about certain things, but humans aren't malicious killers. We're just trying to survive and make life better for ourselves. By destroying everything else? Vex asked, genuinely curious. No, well, not intentionally anyway. Doug looked at the displays surrounding them: wars, extinction events, hunting, farming, antibiotic use, deforestation. Seen through alien eyes, humanity's history did look rather brutal. Okay, maybe we have some explaining to do. Indeed, Vex agreed, closing his tablet with a snap. My audit is complete. Earth will be summoned for a formal explanation before the High Council. Is that bad? The last species called before the High Council was quarantined to their solar system for 50,000 years, Vex stated matter-of-factly. But I'm sure you'll be fine. Why does that not sound convincing? Because I'm an auditor, not a diplomat. Lying isn't my strong suit. Vex stood, extending a slender black hand. Good luck, Officer Peterson. You're going to need it. Doug stared at the offered handshake, suddenly remembering Captain Ryder's awkward encounter. Is it okay if I? He gestured toward Vex's hand. Oh, yes, I've been briefed on your greeting ritual. I won't interpret it as an attack. As they shook hands, Doug couldn't help but feel they might have started off on the wrong foot with the galactic community. What do you mean we're being investigated for planetary-scale omnicide? Captain Ryder demanded, pacing the luxurious but unmistakably secure quarters they'd been assigned. Dr. Wright scrolled through the formal notice they'd received. Apparently our species has the highest kill-to-population ratio ever recorded in galactic history. They're calling us the Terminators, and not in a cool sci-fi way. That's ridiculous. We're not bloodthirsty killers. At that moment, Officer Peterson walked in, slapping his neck. Damn alien insects. I just squashed something with too many legs. Teak Marblon, who had entered behind Peterson, let out a horrified gasp and tapped frantically on his tablet. What? Peterson asked. You just in front of me, so casually, Teak stammered. It was a bug, Peterson shrugged. It was a sentient juvenile Craxian. They have diplomatic status. The three humans froze. Was it really? Peterson asked, looking pale. Teak's tendrils wiggled in what might have been the alien equivalent of an eye roll. No, but the fact that you believed me proves my point. You kill without consideration. That's not fair, Wright protested. We don't kill sentient species. Only because you've yet to meet any others until now, Teak muttered. Meanwhile, a delegation from the High Council is currently touring your planet to verify the audit findings. Across the galaxy on Earth, a group of alien diplomats was indeed conducting their investigation. They stood in horror outside a restaurant in New York City. They publicly display the corpses of aquatic life forms before consuming them, whispered Council Member Zorp, a gelatinous being who reproduced by gentle mitosis. Look at that small human using a chemical spray on the vegetation, pointed out Ambassador Glix, whose species had evolved from sentient moss. In casual herbicide. The diplomats moved on to a hospital, where things got worse. They deliberately cultivate harmful microorganisms just to kill them with toxic chemicals, exclaimed medical ethicist Plon after observing a laboratory. And they call it medical research. Back at UGA headquarters, Teak was explaining all this to the increasingly defensive humans. But killing bacteria is necessary for medicine, Ryder argued. Most advanced civilizations develop symbiotic relationships with beneficial microorganisms to combat harmful ones, Teak explained. No killing required. And what about food? Peterson demanded. Are we supposed to photosynthesize? Any species do, Teak replied. Others consume only naturally deceased matter, synthetic nutrients, or energy directly. None farm sentient creatures. Cows aren't sentient, Peterson protested. Wright placed a warning hand on his arm. Actually, Doug, many Earth philosophers would argue that they are. And we're not helping our case. The fundamental issue, Teak continued, is your species' casual attitude toward ending life. You swat insects without thought. You scrub surfaces with chemicals designed to obliterate microscopic life. You wage wars against your own kind. You create entertainment simulating destruction. From the galactic perspective, you're essentially serial killers. The humans exchange troubled glances. So what happens now? Wright asked quietly. The High Council will decide whether Earth should be quarantined as a threat to galactic peace, Teak replied. You'll have one chance to explain yourselves at the tribunal tomorrow. And if we fail? Ryder asked. Best case scenario, planetary containment field preventing space travel for a few millennia. Worst case, well, Teek's tendrils drooped. They wouldn't destroy Earth, would they? Wright asked, alarmed. That would make them killers too. Certainly not. Teek looked genuinely shocked. We'd simply relocate you to separate habitable planets with strict monitoring. All 7 billion of you. You'd split up our entire species, Peterson exclaimed. It's considered more humane than containment, Teek explained, though the logistics are a nightmare. As the humans absorbed this information, Teek's tablet pinged. Oh dear, the Earth delegation just witnessed a child's birthday party. What's wrong with that? Ryder asked. They're beating a decorative animal effigy with sticks to release small candies hidden inside. A pinata? Peterson laughed. That's just a game. Yes, teaching children to associate violence with rewards, Teek noted dryly. Truly, what could be concerning about that? Wright sat down heavily. We're doomed. The High Council chamber was designed to intimidate. Hundreds of alien representatives sat in ascending tiers that reached so high, the uppermost delegates were barely visible. The atmosphere was tense as Captain Ryder approached the central podium to present Earth's defense. Distinguished members of the galactic community, Ryder began, wiping sweat from his brow. Humanity is honored to join your ranks. We come in peace. An ironic statement given your species' history, commented Chief Counselor San, whose crystalline body refracted light in hypnotic patterns. You may proceed with your explanation for Earth's unprecedented violence. Ryder cleared his throat. While I acknowledge that our statistics may appear alarming when viewed out of context, I assure you that humans are not the monsters you think we are. You personally have terminated approximately 1.2 million microorganisms in the past solar day, observed Counselor Plex. We've been counting. That's just by existing, Ryder protested. Our immune systems do that automatically. So you've weaponized your very biology? Gasped a gaseous counselor floating in a containment field. No, I mean, yes, technically, but not maliciously. The council chamber erupted in murmurs of concern. Let me try again, Ryder said desperately. Humans have actually been working to reduce our environmental impact. We've saved numerous species from extinction, created wildlife preserves. After driving those same species to the brink of extinction yourselves, interrupted a plant-like delegate whose leaves shuddered with indignation. I've reviewed your conservation projects. They're essentially ecological hostage situations. Ryder's arguments grew increasingly tangled as he tried to explain concepts like sustainable fishing to species that considered consuming any living thing morally equivalent to a cannibalism. But we need protein, he finally exclaimed in frustration. So synthesize it, suggested a mechanical counselor. Even we non-biological entities understand this concept. From the observation area, Dr. Wright watched Ryder's defense crumbling. She scribbled a note and passed it to Officer Peterson, who nodded and slipped away. Moments later, Wright approached the podium. Captain Ryder has explained our biological necessities, she began smoothly. But I'd like to address what I believe is the Council's real concern, our apparent bloodthirstiness. The chamber quieted as Wright activated a holographic display showing Earth's entertainment media horror movies, apocalyptic fiction, war games. You've noted that humans seem obsessed with violence and destruction, even in our fiction, Wright continued. You're absolutely right, but you've misinterpreted why. She zoomed in on the faces of fictional characters confronting monsters, disasters, and enemies. Look at their expressions. What do you see? Not joy, not bloodlust, fear. Humans aren't obsessed with killing because we love it. We're obsessed because we're terrified of it. The council members leaned forward, intrigued. Humanity hasn't achieved the harmonious existence that you all enjoy, Wright explained. Our planet is still full of dangers. Our history is marked by struggle. We don't glorify violence. We process our fear of it through stories. We imagine the worst because we're desperately trying to prevent it. She switched the display to show conservation efforts, medical breakthroughs, peace treaties. Yes, our methods sometimes seem brutal by your standards. We kill bacteria because we haven't yet developed the symbiotic relationships you have. We consume other creatures because we haven't mastered synthetic nutrition. But our goal has always been to reduce suffering, not cause it. The chamber was silent as Wright continued. Humans aren't malicious, we're paranoid. We're not bloodthirsty, we're just clumsy. We're like children who haven't learned to control their strength. But we're learning. Every generation of humans kills less than the one before it. We're evolving, just as your species did. An interesting perspective, Chief Counselor Zahn acknowledged. But it doesn't change the fact that your species represents a potential threat. Every species is a potential threat, Wright countered. The question is whether we have the capacity to change. Let me show you something else humans are obsessed with. The holographic display shifted to show scenes of humans helping each other, protecting animals, planting trees, developing medical treatments. We're equally obsessed with saving lives. Our highest value is protecting the vulnerable. Yes, we've made terrible mistakes, but we're trying to be better. We don't need punishment, we need guidance. The council chamber buzzed with discussion as Wright returned to her seat. Captain Ryder squeezed her shoulder. That was brilliant, he whispered. Let's hope it was enough, she replied. 1 week later, the humans found themselves back in the council chamber to hear the verdict. Chief Counselor Zahn's crystalline form glinted as he delivered the ruling. After much deliberation, the High Council has decided that Earth will not be subjected to quarantine or population dispersal. The human delegation let out a collective sigh of relief. However, Zahn continued, Earth will be placed under special observation status for the next 500 years. A monitoring team will assess your progress in reducing your destructive tendencies. Thank you, Counselor, Dr. Wright responded. We accept these terms and welcome the opportunity to learn from the galactic community. Teak Marblon approached with a tablet. Here's a list of recommendations to help reduce your kill count. The Council expects significant progress within the 1st century. Captain Ryder scanned the list and raised an eyebrow. Convert all agriculture to vertical hydroponic systems within 10 years. Develop synthetic protein alternatives for the entire population. Replace all antibacterial products with harmonic microbial resonance technology. We don't even know what that is. The UGA will provide technical advisors, Teak explained. Consider this a rehabilitation program. Some of these are impossible with our current technology, Wright pointed out. Hence the special observation rather than immediate penalties, Teak replied. The Council recognizes that evolution takes time, even for enthusiastic killers. As the formal proceedings concluded, the Earth delegation prepared for their return journey. A small reception had been arranged as a gesture of interspecies goodwill. To Earth's future, as a responsible galactic citizen, Teak proposed, raising a glass of shimmering liquid. To new beginnings, Wright agreed. Just as they clinked glasses, Officer Peterson let out a sudden yelp and slapped his neck. A tiny insect-like creature fell to the floor, twitching. The room went silent. Every alien took 3 steps back. Teak's tablet automatically pinged with an update to the kill count. It was about to bite me, Peterson protested. That's a luminous nectarfly, Teak explained, horrified. They don't bite. They were bestowing a blessing of sweet aromas. "Oh," Peterson said in a small voice. "Sorry." As the humans awkwardly tried to salvage the situation, Teak stepped aside and updated the cosmic scoreboard. Earth's kill count ticked up by 1, the number glowing bright red against the display. 500 years of observation, he muttered to himself. I should request hazard pay. In the grand scheme of things, one more death barely registered in humanity's astronomical tally. But as Earth's representatives boarded their ship, carrying their impossible list of recommendations and newly acquired galactic reputation as the Terminators, one thing became abundantly clear. Interstellar diplomacy was going to be a lot more complicated than they had imagined. Somewhere in the vast bureaucratic nightmare that was the United Galactic Administration building, the cosmic scoreboard continued its silent count, waiting to see if humanity would eventually evolve beyond its dubious distinction as the only planet with a kill count higher than its population. Until then, the rest of the galaxy would be watching from a safe distance.